Okay, welcome to the Rico Stanley Show, and isn't that something for your sake? As always, I will begin the show with a reminder to you, the listeners, that I have a degree in sexual survival, and that if you ever should find yourself lost in the forest, and you're so horny that your dick could fall off, what you should do is shit in your shoe and rump it real hard like it was a lady. Okay, first up we got Lev Davidovich. Good to hear from you, old buddy. How's it been going?
And then about thank you, Cactibia.
Well, hell, you know, I'm doing pretty well, and I sure was sorry to hear that you have been murdered down there in Mexico. Alexandra's been in my thoughts, but that's kind of what you get for what you've done in the Civil War. So what you have for me today there, old buddy?
Okay, wish Laker big man, would Bruce Lee fight today if him was still alive? Shaquille O'Neal or Andrew Bynum?
Even my dead dog Duncan that lives in Heaven's Garden with an angel knows that Bruce Lee was sick of fighting Laker big men in his movies, and that he would have much rather preferred to fight a center from a small market team like Dwight Howard. But just watch that splitter puke down there in Orlando end up with the Lakers, and for Bruce Lee's ghost to be forced into a kicking duel with Zach Randolph, or somebody stupid like that. Memphis isn't even a real city in the United States and should go back to Egypt where it came from and be nice to all the cats in honor of the pharaohs. Turbo time.
Turbo, 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 turbo.
And next up we got Grigory Zinoviev in Pueblo, Colorado. Yeah, thanks for the line, Rico. I was just wondering how you felt about this. I don't think that Tim Turbo is ever going to be able to dunk until he gets a power forward and a trampoline. I'll hang up and listen to your reply. You got some sort of heart of a clown, do you, Grig? Which is just fine by me. Any nitwit with half of a medulla oblongata knows that even the shrimpiest of guards can dunk in basketball these days without the aid of a trampoline. I suggest that you go and hang yourself by your neck until you are good and goddamn dead. You call back any time now you like, you hear? Chris Dyer, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Chris Dyer, and I was wondering what kind of Shaviki you think a Tim Turbo will be, a Menshevik or a Bolshevik?
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 Hey, thanks for your call, Chris Dyer. Ochin Priyatna. That has to be the stupidest thing I ever heard in my whole life as long as I have lived. Clearly him as a cadet at heart, the Black Hundred pig waiting around for Kornilov and his white guard to usurp the dictatorship of the proletariat. If I had to pick one, I'd have to say that he'd be a Menshevik on account of their position that a bourgeois revolution is first necessary for a socialist revolution to take place. But I bet you $1,000,000 that that dog would pose as a Bolshevik so that him could get in good with Lenin and spy on half of the Entente. Of course, that idiot T-Ball would look just fine in a goatee. We're waiting around for a proletarian revolution in Germany to come to the aid of Russian workers, and when it didn't, implementing the NEP, harassing the kulaks by the way of the Cheka, and eventually dying from a stroke. But who are you to ask me that anyway, you lousy wrecker? Somebody come pick him up and take him to the Lubyanka where Mr. Desire deserves to die. Oh, next on the line we have Koba. Yeah, Rico, what kind of animal heart do you suggest that lives inside of Carmelo Anthony's chest? A cock rooster's, maybe? A camel's? Was that Josef Vissarionovich himself? Glad to hear from you, guy. And that is a very good question for you to have asked me, and from a stupid idiot at that, you dummy. I think his heart might be like a rhino's, because Carmelo Anthony is big and gray, and if you are ever on the savannah, you will find that it is a terrifying thing to see him charging right at you. And if you ever did see something like that, I would suggest that you would hope with all of your might that you might have had some kind of grenade launcher to shoot him right in his neck so that his face and his head will fall right off. Alright, that's all for tonight. Then just remember, if you should ever find yourself with the opportunity to be tortured to death by the GPU, I think that you would find that you are very well suited for such a thing. Spokojnej noci.